good afternoon everyone. I hope you guys have actually taken your lunch. My name is Dr. Samuel Wong, and these are three of my students, and together we formed a Pipa Quartet. Let me introduce my students first before we begin today's session. On the left here, rather my left, your right, is Ivan Cheng. Can you give her up? This beautiful lady here is Miss Goh Xueqi. And this is a very handsome young man here is Jeremy Wong. This quartet was formed very, very recently. In fact, the beginning of this year, in about January or February 2013. It was formed primarily because I have had taught quite a number of students, and my students have all become very, very good players. In fact, a lot of them are teachers themselves. They teach as well. They have quite a number of students. They teach in schools. And for myself, I am incredibly proud to have students like these. And because of this, I decided, let's do something for the community. And I grouped 3 of my students together, and 4 of us, we formed a quartet. And our first performance was that we wanted to raise funds for charity, create awareness for Chinese music. We wanted to, play for fun. It all started out as a very, very, I would say, fun, easygoing endeavor. It was nothing serious about it. Well, this is where our turning point came. Ivan Heng from the Wild Rice Theatre Company invited us over one day to actually give a performance to raise funds for his company. It was a Chinese New Year performance, and when we finished performing, we got the shock of our lives because everybody started standing up. And then people like Ivan Heng and various other artists encouraged us, and he said, you need to develop this. There's something viable about this. This is crazy what you guys are doing. You should do something. And frankly, in my personal capacity, I never thought that I would want to do something like that. Fast forward, we just completed our tour in Bangkok, at the Bangkok Arts Center. We had standing ovations there as well. We also played at the Patravati Theatre in Hua Hin. We had standing ovations there. So it was really an amazing experience for all of us. Today we bring our tour, our pieces from Thailand, and we bring them back to Singapore, and we do our small little tour of the various educational institutions in Singapore. Now, the first and foremost, this instrument that I'm talking about, or the instrument that we are playing in question, this instrument is called a pipa. Some of you have seen it, some of you have heard of it, but some of you don't really know what this is. If you look behind your $50 note, your Singapore money, yeah? $50 note. If you pull it out and you turn it around, there's a pipa there. None of you know this. We are a national instrument. But none of you actually know this. You take a $50 note and you flip it around. There is a pipa there. Go. All of you are pulling out cash and money. Do that. Yeah, I'm not lying. All of you, everybody uses $50 notes every single day. Nobody actually even realizes that the instrument is there. Very sad, right? Okay. And how this instrument was called the pipa because of how it was played. It's onomatopoeia. The downward movement was called pi, the upward movement was called pa. So can you try pipa? So in the past, in ancient China or in ancient Persia, all instruments which were plucked, like harps, like lutes, like this instrument here, they were all called pipa. The instrument itself is not a Chinese instrument. A lot of people think this is a Chinese instrument. They see the Kung Fu movies, and then oh, this sound. There was once I had a performance, and a lady after the concert, she came to me and she said, "Can your instrument blow up mountains?" I said, "What do you mean? You watch the shows, the person pang, and then the mountain boom explodes." I said, "No." Then she asked me a second question, "Is it mind altering? Will you get headaches?" I said, "I haven't got it yet, but I've been playing pipa for 18 plus years. I haven't got headaches yet, unless of course I'm sick and I play the pipa, but that's a different issue altogether." It came from ancient Persia, and this was 2,000 years ago. And it slowly moved and traveled via the Silk Road all the way to China. And it was only in China that it was developed into this instrument that we have today. It is one of the most difficult instruments in Chinese music. Why? There is a saying that for 100 days, 千日琵琶百日筝，对吧？ Yeah, it's for 1,000 days of learning the pipa is equivalent to 100 days of learning the guzheng. A guzheng is the long box-like zither with multiple instruments. No, sorry, multiple strings. But because of that, it is incredibly difficult as an instrument. It uses all 10 of our fingers to play. And it goes against the flow of your brain. What do I mean by that? Most of the time, you know, with your piano, you just go this way. If you go with a violin, you have a bow and you can go this way. At least you have the bow, and occasionally you have a pizz or pizzicato where you actually plug in the strings. Unfortunately, with the pipa, we are not spared. We have all our techniques. We have left-hand techniques, right-hand techniques, combination of two-hand techniques. And I'm going to show you some of these techniques first before we start with our performance, so to give you a better appreciation as to what we are really doing today. I'm going to move this. Okay, so you guys can hear me, right? I'm just projecting. As I said, the easiest and the most basic two techniques are P and Pa, which is the downward movement and the upward movement. Now, the most difficult technique, which a lot of pipa players have huge problems, especially pipa learners have huge problems, is this technique called Lun. And you see, and you have all these people, nodding their heads, I suspect there are quite a number of pipa players here. Lun is an incredibly crazy technique to actually master because it goes against all the natural flow of your fingers. Your fingers are, this way. It has one joint here, and the last two fingers share one joint, right? The thing is that you are supposed to make all of them have the same speed, cross the string at the same speed, at the same sound, at the same strength, so that they'll go together. Now the concept of Lun, L-U-N, or Lun, means wheel. So what we try to do, because the instrument is a plucked string instrument, you only have dots. It's not like a voice, like and you can go on. It is, and the sound will decay. How does the pipa not allow the sound to decay? We use this technique called Lun, where we take each finger, so if I turn my back, you can, which finger am I using? Which finger am I using? You won't know. But that's the thing, and we join them together in quick succession. So it has to sound like a voice, like. Sound like a line. It is usually in the guitar you have tremolos and all that, but for pipa we have Lun. And this is the technique where all the pipa players in this hall will probably headache because you go one, oh shucks, I'm missing a string, And every single person's hands are different. You don't have a bow. You actually have to use your fingertips, and you have to control your fingertips. It is almost you have to have an understanding of anatomy before you actually start with this instrument. There are many techniques, as I mentioned, left-hand techniques, right-hand techniques. Left-hand techniques include hits, pulls, sort of like slaps. All using the left hand. Similarly, the pipa, you must understand, it is a traditional and a folk instrument. It tried, at a period of time, to mimic a lot of what the people in the Chinese countryside actually saw. For example, horses neighing, sword fighting, you have wood blocks, gongs, instrument has almost an unlimited amount of potential in trying to voice out what a person tries to say. And why I love this instrument is because this instrument, unlike most other Chinese instruments, has an enormous amount of character. It is said that you need to have a certain type of character to play the pipa. You know, if you see the guzheng, you have people who are very gentle, pretty girls, whatever, and they're like very nice. But you see, to play the pipa, you need to actually have a little bit of guts. You need to have a little bit of character. You need to have a little bit of identity, a bit more edgy. And that's what I actually see in a lot of my students today. They have incredibly individualistic ideas of how music should be, how the world should revolve and evolve. They are also, pipa players also need to understand very much that the instrument survives in its context, and the context changes all the time. Today we will bring to you some of pipa pieces that we have arranged ourselves to make into quartet, into quartet formation. A lot of these pipa pieces were originally pipa solo pieces. Some of you who have the program, and who are pipa players, or who have listened to quite a bit of pipa music, you would also understand and you would know that some of these pieces are sort of classics, or very famous pipa pieces. But as such, I'm not going to talk so much anymore. I'm going to let you guys do the listening, and maybe you can identify some of the techniques. The first piece that we'll be playing for you is a very famous piece called Dance of the Yi Tribe. In Chinese, it's called Yi Zu Wu Qu. And it uses material from the Yunnan province, and it's basically two folk songs which they combine together, of which it talks about a love song. It is a love song. A lot of people don't really know what this is, but it's a love song between a boy and a girl. And you hear the pipa actually voices the sound of a boy with this note. The low notes are the boy, and the girls. And let's combine them together. So the boy sings something, and the girl sings something. Yeah, and a lot of people don't know that there's this song called 999 Roses. It's a Chinese pop song. They copied this song, and it became a hit in Chinese pop. But today we will play for you the original version, so you will actually, and we hope that you will enjoy it. Thank you very much.
Wong.